All right, someone made a pull request to mission control. It's 190 something file changes, so I'm gonna check it out because it does have some pretty cool, interesting ideas in it. So yeah, this stream is gonna be pretty no big goals here, right? Just trying to read through this and see what's going on. Every time you open a fresh agent session, the agent normally starts from zero. It has to reread the code, relearn how the project is laid out, and rediscover decisions that were already made in earlier sessions. Recall fixes that. It's in memory that mission code cheats about your project and hands to each new session automatically. Hey, thanks for the pull request. I would recommend, if possible, is there a way to break this up into smaller pull requests? So like every feature is its own pull request. Like the memory thing could have been a separate pull request. The grid view could have been a separate pull request. I might check out your branch and just ask Claude Code to break it up into smaller pull requests if possible. Because some of the things I maybe have to consider more, like the whole recall thing, or at least if there's a way to like turn it off. Because I mean, some people may not want to develop using this. But I appreciate the pull request. I'm going to kind of read through it today and see what it's all about. I mean, this kind of seems like an agent MD file, right? What's up, FaceM? How's it going? Code graph, a live map of the code base along facts. Session management feature, session grid, full width of each session. Adding a WebGL renderer. Grid aware view gate. And watch the video I shared on Discord. This. So are these session windows, are they basically just reusing the exact same sessions that were in the other view as well? Which of the following would you? Yeah, I mean, pretty cool stuff. I need to, let me see if I can just run it. Over here, please fetch and check out this. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong model too. All right. What else did you add to this pull request? Sessions, memory. I think you changed the styling too, didn't you? All right. Why are there so many dings going off? Gosh. Relevant memory graph hits. Projection as context. Open terminal task ID. I don't know. I don't use Warp, so I can't answer that question. I basically built this because I use Claude Code Desktop. I tried Codex Desktop. I've used Cursor. None of them are built very well in terms of like managing multiple projects concurrently. I just feel like the developer experience on these are just pretty bad. So at that point, I decided to just build my own. Each memory is a row keyed in project to project. Sorry, not that I don't trust you, but I don't trust anyone. I'm basically asking the different models to go through the changes you made to check for malicious code before I merge it in. I may just merge it in, honestly. I wanna play around with it, run it locally, and see how it kind of works. Also check when the project is first ran with npm install or just ran locally, does anything additional execute on my machine. The recall database schema ER diagram is open in mission controls diagram viewer. Okay. Project memory. Type facts per project scope memory. Graph. Confidence. Confirmed, inferred, ambiguous. So when an agent is using this skill to look up memory, does it do any type of filtering, or does it just grab all the records and put that in the context? See, by the way, Cody, just before you stop doing it, I want to validate those back to basic tech fundamental videos. You did. The last few weeks were great. Yeah, I'll probably keep doing them, honestly. I think they're good value. I think as people are vibe coding more and more, I don't think people actually understand what's going on in their code base. They don't understand how software even works. I think there's value in just making architecture videos still. I have no clue what an MCP server is. It's just a server that runs on your machine, or it could potentially be locally, which your agents are taught how to interact with, to store things, fetch things, run commands, etc. So like, for example, if you're using Stripe, you can download a Stripe MCP server, and that injects some code into Claude Code that teaches Claude Code how it can actually interact with Stripe. So it can go and create projects on Stripe. It can go and create products. It can delete products. It's basically like teaching it about the API. Now, granted, I don't know what the benefit of using MCP over just a skill at this point is, because a skill, I've tried skills and they're pretty accurate. Just basically give a top-level overview of the API or the documentation in a skill, and the skill can teach Claude Code exactly how to interact with whatever, you know? But I guess you can abstract some things away when you're using MCP, which is nice. The recall skill is write only. It saves memories via post. It does not look anything up. When an agent reads memory, it happens through 3 separate paths, and all of them filter. Nothing dumps the full table into context. Automatic at startup. This is the main injection path. It does not load all the records. I guess my main concern with this type of stuff is, where's the validation that this actually helps? Right? We added this giant memory system into mission control. Where is the results showing that this actually improves anything? That's the one thing I'd kind of push back on. I don't want to add arbitrary things to mission control unless it's like guaranteed to improve something. And for me, I'd have to play around with this for like a couple of days to even say, oh yeah, this is definitely helping make better code. Or this is shaving off token usage by 20%. Plus all these like Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, OpenCode, they have like built-in memory systems as well. So now we're abstracting a memory system on top of the existing harnesses. And for me, it's like, I guess I would rather have some type of evals or validation that like, hey, this is actually helpful, and not just like causing additional token bloat. That's my only feedback. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't have the time to validate this. And it's also bundled into all the other changes, which I think would be cool to add into, but one open terminal model, one terminal pane, one electron PTY path. Grid versus normal is how many panes you show and how they... Terminal pane, a thin wrapper around one pane, resizable session grid. Both render the same components. Okay. Cool, cool. What third-party dependencies or NPM packages did this PR include? Bitter one. What is React Doctor? I've never heard of that before. What is React Doctor? Scans React code bases for things like performance issues, correctness bug, accessibility. Unofficial React tool, third party. Okay, seems good. Seems pretty good. Let me pop out my chat. Hold on. Pop out chat. Check DM, let's make a game. I got a big brain idea like always. What's up? Good business. Yeah, I can I mean I'll check game in a bit. Is there something you want me to like demo or something? I also enjoy the software you use for those videos. Yeah, that's my own SketchLab. Just vibe coded this thing. And shout out to Super Combo Gamer. He's the one who gave me the idea of adding in the layers. He sent me like a cool screenshot. Can you please explain what Mission Control offers? Is it that allows you to better organize your work into projects? I mean, that's the main reason I built it, is that like I have a bunch of different side projects and I quickly want to be able to switch between them. And sometimes I'll kick off prompts in like 2 or 3 different projects. Like sometimes I'll be using Sketchlab in a video. I'll determine that I need to add in a new feature. So I'll just be like, switch to Sketchlab, make a new agent to make the header brown. Start a new agent, make the header brown. Something like that, where like, okay, now after I add that in, switch back to WebDev Cody. Switch back to WebDev Cody. I got a fix on the, that one was called? WebDevCody.com. Oh, switch back to WebDevCody.com. Anyway, that was a really bad demo, but I wanted a centralized place to work on all my projects as my sessions are running, because sometimes it could take 20, 30 minutes. I can see them on the left of which project has what sessions that are currently running, which ones actually are asking me to give some feedback. So ask me what my favorite color is using the built-in tooling, the Ask Questions tooling. Let me see if this even works. So you'll see this turned orange, and then it should turn red if this thing can actually like properly kick the hooks. Okay, so we got this one. Some of the harnesses are not setting correctly. Like I think Claude Code would have worked better on that one. Let me try Claude Code. It's kind of buggy. And then also, why is it showing 3? I think I might have a, let me delete these work trees. Let me fix that real quick. I'm going to switch to Fable real quick. When I try to delete a work tree, it's saying invalid work tree name. Can you double check the delete work tree functionality, that it handles edge cases where the directory might have already been deleted or whatnot? I'm not sure why it's saying invalid work tree name when I tried to delete a work tree. Anyway, that's the main idea. It's just like a centralized way for me to manage my projects. I can quickly see at a glance what Claude Code sessions are asking me for feedback, because if you interact with these harnesses, you'll notice that they keep on asking you all the time, hey, like, did you mean this or that? Can you answer these questions? Notification system to be able to quickly go to them. Work tree support, so I can kick off different tasks and different work trees. I started adding sandbox support. I might just remove this one. I don't know. But even at work, I mean, I work on like a bunch of different projects, so sometimes I have to switch to one project, and using Ghosty or these other tools like just aren't, I just don't feel like they're really designed for around that. Probably should have done this on a different branch. Whatever, I'll just do it in your branch. All right, let me just run this. Are you excited for GPT 5.6? Not really. I just don't get excited about new model releases. Like the models have reached a point where they're like good enough. And now we're reaching that threshold where like a single prompt in the Fable 5 can cost like $100, $200. Like that's just not feasible. So I don't know. I think we're reaching a plateau where the actual usability is going to be like pay to win, even though it already is kind of pay to win. But I don't know. I have to look at the cost breakdown of 5.6 and see. What is your average monthly spend on LLMs? I just have the $100 a month Claude Code plan, and then when I hit my limit, I just literally turn my computer off and come back later. Like I force myself to take a break. Because sometimes just taking a break and like just thinking about what you're trying to build is going to help you build a better product than just blindly throwing in more prompts, I think. But for like this type of refactoring, it's probably good to have a lot of credits and tokens. It's free. Yeah, right now it's free MIT license. I switched to it for all my vibe coding after using Herder and CMux for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I've used all these tools. This is literally why I built Mission Control. I just don't feel like any of these tools actually have a good developer experience. Okay, so I'm on your branch right now. Let's see what things you added. You have a search your prompts. Let's see if it actually stores some of these things. It's a weird bug with using cursor. It adds these like RGB text things. I thought I solved that. Command Shift P. Okay. Oh, that's cool. The whole panel flickers when I sometimes type. Like when I type in what, there's a quick flicker. If I click it, let's see, does it take me straight to it? What about if I archive it? Oh, it goes away. So it's just my active sessions. Where's your active prompts? I would probably rename this to search active prompts because it doesn't seem like it shows archived ones. Let's see, you changed the theme. Does this... Nice, you handled this. What's this magic button do? Recall, curated project memory fed into... Have you been watching BridgeMine? Doesn't he have something like this? Let me try recall, hold on. Click it. Creative facts about the project, mission control, assembles the most relevance into a session brief and handles it into each new session. The project from scratch. This UI is a little bit overwhelming. There's too much stuff going on here. Analyze my project and add to memory how it is set up. I think one thing that you could add in terms of the recall stuff is I've seen this on another tool where you can have it learn. So like if you load up a new project, right now there's no memory, so it doesn't even know how my project works. But if I could click a learn button, I thought I was supposed to. I thought on your PR it mentioned something about learning your project, but maybe because I already have these projects open, it's not kicking off a learn mode. Let me check out your new theme. Recall. Project memory mission code builds and hands to each new session. Before the agent answers, inject the memories as code graph symbols most relevant to the prompt. Auto capture sessions. That's all right. Okay, include code graph. Recall engine, the CLI that distills sessions and refines brief. I probably would have added the memory to an experiment thing too, since this is like a pretty big change. But it's fine. Minimal. So what's the main change here? So minimal was... Oh, I get it. So like changing the background color maybe on some of these. Okay, so one issue with your PR is that I can't open up the git diff when I'm on your grid view. Like clicking changes does not show my modal. But maybe I should change that to be a full screen modal at this point, because right now it's like on a left panel type of thing. I think maybe having a modal that pops up might be a better user experience, honestly. New row. Phone session, focus session, loading window. Wow. What the heck? But what happened to my whole like mission control project? Interesting. And you put in some work, huh? This is some good stuff. How do you split down though? We'll expand. I can't. Command left bracket doesn't do anything. Okay, let me show you. I don't know if you're still watching the stream, but Command Shift left bracket is how you can switch between the sessions real quick. But if I go over to yours, like I can't do that. All right, yeah, splitting down. I don't know how you had it split down before. You can start with build full graph. You add skills to projects yet? Oh, not yet. Command Shift G, I need to match yours. At the top right, there's a button called New Row. Okay, what does new session do? Yeah, I would probably get rid of new row. Let me think about this, hold on. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to be using this view anyway. This is what I tried to get away from. This view is very confusing, in my opinion. Like having a bunch of terminals open. This is the one reason I moved away from Ghosty. is because this view is just much more intuitive for me. I can see at a glance what the session is. It automatically creates a title for it. I get an icon that kind of describes what the session was doing. I will not probably use this view at all, personally. I think other people will. I think it might be useful for other people. That's why I am considering like merging your pull request. I intentionally find this very cluttered. And I'm not critiquing your work or your agent's work. I'm just critiquing the fact that I've seen many different vibe coding tools that have like 6 different split terminal windows. And at some point, you just lose the plot. Like, you have no idea what's going on. You have a bunch of just windows sitting here. It's confusing. Yeah, you have a title up here. But I do think a lot of people like that view. This is kind of why I went to this view, where I can just quickly focus on one thing. And by the way, I'm not, hopefully you're not getting offended by what I'm saying. I'm just giving fair critique, since I'm being very, very picky about what I'm merging into this project. But yeah, as far as the new row and the new session, these both do the same thing, but it's like a UX change. I would rather... I'm trying to figure out how in Ghosty... Let me load up Ghosty real quick. Because this is my other go-to tool, basically. So, Control T makes a brand new split tab. Wait, no, does it? Oh, Command D, my bad. Command D makes a brand new one. Command Shift D splits it below. So if you wanted to kind of follow that user experience, I think that might be a little bit... Oh, you do have that. You just don't have Command D. Command Shift D will clone it, which is exactly how it works in Ghosty, which I think I might have added in at some point. Command D splits it. I just find it strange I have to go up here to new row to make a brand new row. Like, I would expect like a split horizontal. Oh, and then when I close, this is another issue. When I close one of your terminals, it should auto focus like the last one in the list. So for example, if you go over to Ghosty and I split, as I'm Command W, notice that I can actually start typing in the other terminals. This one does not do that. Close it and now nothing's focused. I can't type. So a little bit of critique there in terms of a user experience. I don't know what to say about this new row. Something about this is like, I don't know, maybe you can have like a toggle that says new row or new column that they could select when it's in your view. Focus session. I'd be very curious about your use case here for this focus session. Like, what is it that you're using this for? Like, maybe you have a browser window open. Let me just like minimize this. So if you're like working on SketchLab or something, you could have this pinned over here. Okay, I mean, I think this is super cool too. Like the fact that mission control is just a little teeny window. Like, this is phenomenal. I definitely appreciate this one. I could switch between them. Very good. Yeah, I mean, I would say don't even worry about making a new pull request for like breaking into small chunks. I might just merge your stuff, honestly. Like, this is really great stuff. And I don't want anything I'm saying on stream to make it feel like you didn't do good work. I just have really minor critiques that, I mean, if you have time to go back and fix them, the fact I can't open the git diff, I think opening that up in a brand new modal would be very useful. Doing like a Command D so that it can very similar work with Ghosty, splitting it horizontally, and then Command Shift D could split it vertically. I would recommend that. In terms of the git diffs, like, you can just pull this out of the panel and make it a modal too. I do think this is not a very good user experience. It's like hidden behind my tab. Let me try to remind myself how this one works too. So when I do a Command D or Command Shift D, Command Shift D makes a new one. I think it's cloning the session. So I think what you could do, Command Shift D, you could have it make a new column, because I think that's how it works in Ghosty. Nope, makes a new row. Which is kind of similar to what it does here. It makes a new row. So I think in your grid view, Command Shift D should just make a new row, and then Command D should make a new column. Now, I don't know how that answers your question about this model picker. I mean, harness picker. Maybe you could just have like a harness picker up here. But now we have so many different tools in this toolbar. I think at some point what we're going to have to do is like make this into a drop down. If there's not enough real estate. Oh, you do have it already. Okay. I think even being able to customize what shows up here could be useful. Because like plus and minus, honestly, I don't need buttons for this. I know it's Command P. Oh, okay, here's another issue. When I do a Command P, it's zooming in the entire Electron app. If you go and try that over here, notice how it only zooms in the focus window. And I also feel like maybe you change the max width of this or something. So if I go to my actual like production build, this guy's never going to make a pull request again. I'm critiquing too much of his stuff. Okay, maybe it's the same. You see, I can like go over much further. It's almost like split right down the middle. Is that the same with this? I think it depends on how zoomed in you are. Okay, I think that's fine actually. Let me try out the other theme. Sure. Okay, for Ember, the accessibility needs to be tweaked a little bit. Like the buttons here, I cannot see the two. I think if you ran this through Pally, it would probably fail in terms of contrast in a couple of places. Maybe that's the only place, these little like buttons here. Let me check out the drop downs. After this stream, I'm going to basically take the whole transcript from the stream and then probably make GitHub issues for everything I just mentioned. I think for these, it would be cool if we had, instead of like these little tabs, and this isn't related to your work, I just think that we added more general themes. If we could have screenshots of what Painted looks like, what Minimal looks like, what Nor looks like, so I can click them, or like, so I can actually know what they are before I even click them. I think that'd be a really good user experience too. This view is looking a lot like, I'll go back to my main view. Yeah, let's go back to recall. You mentioned something about yeah, this modal is just, there's too much going on in this modal. I don't know if we need to like put tabs at the top so I can have different. What's the way to explain this? I mean, I guess you have accordions. I don't know. I think maybe having top level tabs. There's just way too much stuff going on in this modal right now. It's very confusing. And so I think if you could find a way to split it in between the code graph, discovery, searching memories, you got 3 separate tabs, maybe even 4 tabs that have all those things. split up, so it's easier at a first load. Right now, I don't even know what to do with this modal. There's just a lot going on. That's my recommendation there, and also you injected brief. Wasn't there something you mentioned? Let me go back to your chat. Hold on. You can start with build code graph. Where's build code graph? I don't know where build code graph is, honestly. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, here's another issue. The fact that they wrap to a line down here. I think putting this, I don't know how useful this is to have it always displayed as a button. Like, do you find yourself clicking this every day? If you don't click it multiple times a day, every day, you should put it in the drop down here. Move it out of sight so that it's like I can focus on having the most important buttons displayed. The grid view I think you can keep. I think switching from grid view to terminal views might be better, but it's kind of confusing that the button doesn't change. Like maybe having a toggle button or something, but then that would take up more horizontal real estate, which would be problematic. But yeah, I would expect that when it's in a certain view, it should go back to like a list view or something, and I can click it and go back to the list view. Click it, go back to the split terminal view. Just my opinion there. And then also, if you notice that when you create a new session, it does generate an icon. Like I tell Claude Code to go and figure out what Lucid icon will work best to describe what you're doing. Like for example, if I said, help me debug something, that should change this to like a debug icon. Here you go. Having that displayed here, to me, could be very useful because at a glance, I see an icon. Oh, this is the debugging session terminal I was working on. It's much faster than like, okay, now I have to read the text. And then sometimes I have to go and actually like scroll back and understand like what was I actually prompting this terminal. Command Shift A. Okay, that's cool. Is there anything else that you added that I'm not seeing? Overall, I mean, I really like the changes. I can't critique on the memory stuff because I don't know if this is even helping or not. Rebuild. Oh, here's the rebuild graph. Let me go back to SketchLab. Let me click on rebuild. I guess it rebuilt. That was quick. Did it actually work? A structure map of this project symbols and how they connect. Import calls defines agents. Query it on demand to answer what grep can't. I'd be curious to know what exactly this is doing. A structural map of the project symbols and how they connect. So it's like your dependency graph. So a function depends on this function, that function depends on that function. Yeah. All right, let me go back to chat. I'm sure you said a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Command Shift G. What is Command Shift G again? Oh. That's pretty cool. I would say when it says no open session, start a new session here, put a new session button here. That's how I kind of do it on this. So like better empty state. Also, how do we toggle between archived and pin? I noticed that when I switch to your view with the terminals, there's no archive all. I mean, you put archive all up here. Because I can still go back and read the history of like an archive project. But on your view, it's like, it's gone. There's no way to actually view that. But I mean, maybe that's fine. I don't know. I need to match yours at the top right. There's a button called New Row. Cody, are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. I got a wife and kids and a family. I'm happy. As far as YouTube, though, does YouTube make me happy? Not as much as it used to. Only reason I'm doing this stream is to just try to keep on doing it. I like to use CMux View multiple sessions at the same time. That's why I was looking to have admission control, Command W to close the session, right? Need more to work about. I have a 4K screen. I wanted to keep it open at all times in the small window. Yeah, that makes sense. What is Sketchlab made up of? It's just, I think it's using Three.js. Honestly, I don't know. I vibe coded it. Let me go to it. Let's try the new view though. When I vibe, let's go here. What is this tech stack of this project? I'm pretty sure it's just like vanilla JS, maybe using Three.js for the 3D type of stuff. And then it's just all browser based. So there's no database. It's just like local storage. Oh, it's using Pixie.js. Okay. State is nanostores. IndexedDB. Sharing. LZ string. Routing is hash based. Like, it's the most minimal type of application possible. And I made it that way because I wanted to avoid complexity. Vite. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Cursor IDE harness and cursor CLI harness, is it different thing or is it the same? I mean, they're different. In terms of how it works under the hood, I don't know if they do the same type of like algorithms for indexing your code base and all this other stuff. I have a feeling it's a completely separate thing they built out. And the actual cursor IDE probably has a more powerful harness. Have you ever seen that Bridgemine guy? Yeah, I used to watch him a lot. I mean, I still kind of tune into his streams. He's building out I was supposed to make a video on what he's building. I told him I'd make a video. I just haven't gotten around to it. He's making his own vibe coding tool. It kind of, so the one concern I have is that the new view that was added, the new theme, it kind of looks like Bridgemine's thing. And I'm not looking to get into any beef with anybody. Like, he has a tool that's kind of similar. It's called Bridge Space. Where he has kind of terminal split like this, but personally I will probably be using this type of view. There's something with this view, yeah, like I mentioned, just the contrast needs to be improved some places. But this one looks pretty nice. It's already built. The button at the very bottom pop-up. I don't know what I asked at that point, but the bottom at the very bottom pop-up. I don't know what I asked at that point, so. How do you display Claude Code in web app? I don't know what that means. Like, it's just a terminal. Is that what you're asking? Like, how is it that I have Claude Code showing over here? This is just a TTY terminal. And Claude Code is a CLI tool, right? So I can just run whatever CLI tools I want over here. Do you think that software engineering is done for good? Maybe not now, but seems like it's a matter of some time. I don't think software engineering is done. Because okay, so here's the thing. If they can make the cost of a token be 0, I think we're done. Like, I think this whole career is done because you can just let these things run infinitely on a loop, testing, implementing, rebuilding, refactoring, testing, doing over and over and over again, and can kind of build out anything that you ask it to build. If tokens were free, I think the art of like building software systems is pretty much done because these systems can do it probably faster and better than you could. But they're not free, right? We've reached a point where a one prompt of Fable 5 can cost you like $100, $200. And for a majority of people, that's just not very viable, right? Maybe for those super hard bugs and you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to throw it in the Fable 5 and just hope that I can figure this out. I think that could be very useful. But I mean, like at some companies, their AI bill is like $100,000 a month. So there's like this balance between you have to understand how to interact with these tools, these LLMs, try to reduce the token usage while also try to increase the output. A lot of the times you have to keep on reprompting and reprompting. Even all this code that was just added right now, like you saw me go through critique all of the features, like there's still this user experience thing we have to keep in mind that takes skill to be able to know like what a nicely functioning UI is versus not. But yeah, I don't think we're even close to being done. If anything, I think if the economy goes back up, I think we'll probably see even more software jobs because a bunch of people just want stuff built out. Where am I hosting this whole thing? It's just an Electron app. What's up, Cody? Been using the audit skill to iron out a purely vibe coded app that I'm working on. Yeah, how's it working? How's it working, Samuel? What are we doing? Yeah, AI really focused DevTuber to pivot to a weird position and just like messed up everything for YouTubers. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck to do with my channel. It's just making AI content and update videos on the latest models is just not enjoyable for me, so I'm not going to do it. I'd rather just not do YouTube if that's the case. Doing this where I can do a live stream and maybe talk to you all and build stuff, I find that fun. Where do you think tech content is going to move on YouTube within the next few years? Do you see channels like yours moving away from pure development content? I don't know. What's up, Sharon? I haven't tried Herder yet. I made a full mobile app using AI. It does fit your family. It's App Store, name it Crony. Okay, yeah. Maybe I can check it out. Anyway, I've been streaming for an hour. I'm gonna drop, but I will say I appreciate your pull requests, Zayade50. I think you let me know what your next steps are. Do you plan to break this up into smaller pull requests? Do you want me to just try to get this all merged in and then we can try to iterate on some of the comments that I made? At this point in time, I'm okay just merging your pull requests. I think the changes are pretty good. I just have some small nitpicks, which hopefully I haven't offended you by saying, but I do think just giving you my opinion on how it all kind of works, or my vision for the project, I think we can make it pretty good. The last thing I'd probably say is the memory system. I would really like to get some type of confirmation that this helps. It saves tokens, even if that's like one small little experiment saying, hey, I did a prompt with the memory system, I did a prompt without the memory system, and it used 25% less tokens, and the output is basically the same. Like, that'd be very useful. Or even an experimental feature toggle, so I can like turn it off so I don't see it in the UI or something. Could be useful too. I don't know if everyone who's using this app wants to use your memory system. Having it there could be useful, but I think having some type of metrics I can promote to say, hey, yeah, this actually helps. Okay, I like architecture. Your videos about YouTubers are very helpful. Yeah, I'm gonna keep making architecture videos. Zayad, is that how you pronounce it? Zayad? Too bad, funny enough, you got me to start my software development agency 4 years ago. Love your videos, man. Big part of how I learned to code. Yeah, thank you for that kind message. I mean, a bunch of people reached out saying that, like, they're working full-time as an engineer now. One mentioned that he's, like, managing a team now. So my content's definitely useful. It's just I'm trying to figure out, like, where it fits in 2026 with AI, and maybe it could still be useful, like making tutorial videos with higher level architecture. That's so far, when I started doing the architecture videos, I got a bunch of good positive comments. So I'm probably going to keep on doing those type of videos because I think there's a bunch of junior devs still, vibe coders, who don't know how stuff's working. And I do think software is pivoting to one layer above in the abstraction stack, where now it's not about knowing the implementation details of the stuff. It's knowing how this connects to this, how this talks to this, how does the whole system holistically work together. That's the valuable part, especially if these models keep getting better. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. I'm going to wrap up the stream. I've been going for an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again, Zayad, for the pull request. Please let me know if you want to do a video on my app to show what AI can do. Brony, I'll check it out, but I'll let you know. All right, that's it. Have a good day.